Are you tired of being broke? Have you tried selling drugs, but you figured out that you're just not about that trap life? Have you thought about stripping or even escorting or sugaring, but you actually have morals and standards?
What's up, new booty? How you doing?
Nervous. What to do when college is just not for you? Okay, so guys, that was just a fun satire intro, so don't take that seriously, but this is just going to be the top 10 jobs that you can work without having a degree, maybe minimal training, or maybe a small certificate, but these jobs pay well. So number one, retail. I know some of you hate retail, but retail managing. Retail manager positions at like CVS and Walmart, they can easily pay $40,000. And like starting off, I would say like about 36, and that's not bad for a 22-year-old or 21-year-old, you know, for someone that's in their early 20s. All it takes is just hard work and good work ethic. I remember when I was working in Walgreens Pharmacy, I was making $9.50 an hour, which is cool back in 2009, but my manager was only like 24, and he was making about $40,000. That was my starting teacher salary, and he didn't even have a degree. So I mean, hey, if you're already working retail, or if it's just something that you want to do, you know, and you don't want to do with college, then trying to become a manager is a good way to go. And I think most drugstore managers make a little bit more, maybe because the drugstores make a lot of money themselves. And when you're thinking about it, a drugstore is just a small store. It's not like super big like a whole department store, so you won't have to worry about too many crazy customers. But if you're in clothing, then you know there's more competition there. But I think that those positions still make good money also. Number two is Title Max. Title Max, starting off, depending on your city, you can start off making $20,000 to $30,000. That is really good for someone who's really young, who doesn't have to pay rent. And even if you do have to pay rent, let's say if it's only like $700 or $800, that's still pretty good. You're still bringing in at least about $2,000 a month. So, you know, and you could do a side job or talent or something that you might have on the side that can bring you more income. Title Max also have higher positions that, you know, obviously aren't just entry level, where you can make even more money. So it is a good job where you can actually grow and, you know, potentially make more money. Graphic designing. You can become a graphic designer. All you need is a good eye for art and graphics. Graphic designs is something that you can actually train yourself in, or get some really good software, or you can link up with a graphic designer and maybe they can show you some things. But I kind of taught myself some things about graphic designing, but I mean, there's a course at most local community colleges where the certificate is only like maybe 3 to 4 weeks long, maybe 5 to 6 weeks, but you can come out with the whole certificate and you can make money. You can make thousands of dollars a month. I remember buying one ad, just one simple ad, for like either 25 or 30 bucks. But let's say if you do like 20 of those in a week, there's so many different companies and even Instagram, like so many businesses are looking for graphic designers. So you can always work with high-end people, depending on your talent and how well you are. You can always design for them and you can be making a lot of money. I have a friend in college, well, she graduated from Tennessee State. She's making like at least like $50,000 or $60,000 because she just bought a brand new Benz and it is nice. And she's a graphic designer and she's only about 25 years old. So hey, you can start while you're in high school. Sometimes they might have dual courses where you can get your certificate. People just want to keep texting me like, so you can start in high school. Maybe they'll have like a course, like a dual course where you can get a credit for that, or after high school, if you're already an adult, you can go to your local community college. Hotel managers, actually hotel staff members, some of them can make like $15 to $16 to $17 an hour starting off, like depending on the hotel, of course, like more 4-star hotels. But the hotel managers can make about $30,000 to $50,000 in a year, of course, as a salary. So that's a good job. All you need is a little training, of course, but maybe longevity on the job working. But depending on their needs, if you've had a little experience in that field already and you really show that you're a good worker, then they'll probably promote you to at least assistant manager, and after that, you're a shoo-in. Post office workers. Post office workers have great benefits. Like, you guys pretty much have like zero copays, but they make from $30,000 to $40,000 a year. And that's just like minimum or like average. I know people who have retired from the post office and they've made more. I know young 20-year-olds that are actually out doing postal work, and they're actually going from house to house, but they're making good money. And if you don't want to do that, you can always work inside of the post office as well. So all you have to do is pass a test. But I mean, that's kind of like basic skills, so it shouldn't be that hard for you guys to pass. But at least you won't have to have a degree. And that's a good job where you can transfer to other cities because it's, you know, nationwide. So keep in mind, the post office is a good place to work. Leasing agents. I know so many like 22, 23, 24-year-old leasing agents that are making at least like 25 to 35,000 a year. And those are good numbers, like I said, for young people who barely have rent to pay, because you get a discount, I think up to 50% off of your rent. And let's say if you're working in like a high-class luxury building, yeah, you're easily gonna be making a good $30,000 to $35,000 a year. And that's just starting off as a leasing agent. When you become the leasing manager, you can make up to like $50,000 and maybe even more, depending on the building. But of course, you start off as a leasing agent and then you'll work your way up. But I know a guy who started in like 2012 and he became manager by 2015. That's like 3 years. But because people were just switching and leaving, he just got elevated. So hey, correction officers and also police officers. When I tell you guys, one of my friends, I just read in the newspaper in the St. Louis area that he made $100,000. $100,000. I was like, wait a minute, I've never, the closest I've made was $67,000 as a teacher with a whole degree. And you mean to tell me you made, and this was with overtime of course, but his regular salary was like $75,000 and he was 28 at the time. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's so much money. Like, bruh. So, I mean, for someone who doesn't have a degree, that's a lot, you know. And of course you have to do police training, but I mean, you don't have to always be out fighting crime, you know. But sometimes you might be in a corrections facility, or you might be just at an office or whatever. I have a friend who's now a detective in New Orleans. She just bought a new home. And she is 30, but she started when she was like 25, I believe. So, I mean, you can start at any age and work your way up. Next is number 8 is security guards. Security guards actually make some good money and they actually don't do much, to be honest.
What we gonna do next? Just sit here and wait for something to happen.
A lot of security guards don't even have guns. They just kind of look like they do, or they might have fake guns. But I mean, if you like work at a bank or a nice luxury place like that where they will also need a lot of security, then you can make more than maybe like your local garage shop or whatever. So always think about positions like that. And sometimes when it's like the late shift, like overnight, the graveyard shift, that's easy money. And especially like in the daytime, you know. Bank tellers. Bank tellers, it depends on what state you're in your city, but bank tellers can make about $15 to $17 an hour. I would say the average might be like 12 to 15, depending on, you know, if you're starting or not, or if you have a lot of experience. But starting off, that's pretty good money. Some substitute teachers only make like $13 to $14 an hour. So that's pretty good to me. And if you, well, without a degree anyway. So of course, if you work your way up through the bank, you can become a branch manager. You can go all the way up. Now, I do believe, you know, to really go up in the banking world, you really will need a degree. But as far as being a bank teller, sometimes in the banking world, experience kind of trumps degrees, unfortunately. But you know, for someone who doesn't have a degree, you can work with the bank and make some good money. And you might get, they might pay for your degree. Some jobs in finance and business, they will pay for your degree if you go back to school. So always keep your mind open for that. Last but not least, this is cliche, but YouTube. YouTube pays a lot of money depending on your niche and what kind of videos you're making, actually how frequent you're making them. You can make up to $1 million and more on YouTube. But I mean, the average person probably makes about $1,000 to like $5,000 a month, but that's good money for someone who doesn't have a degree. So, but I mean, depending on how you are and how you act, you could say something that's totally drastic and end your career, like some of the girls that are doing it now on YouTube. But I mean, if you're just making like a cooking channel or a hardware channel or DIY channel, you should be pretty good. And so, you know, it's just good money for a no degree. So that's it for this video. Make sure you guys stay tuned for part 2. Subscribe and thumbs up this video if you want more videos like this. Also comment below any good jobs that you know of and the cities that pay the most or whatever that we can do to help other people. And don't forget to go to Indeed.com to look for jobs, as well as Glassdoor to check out different jobs as well. Glassdoor does not only give you the salaries, but they give you like jobs that have openings at that time too. Like let's say if you want to work at the Cheesecake Factory, well they pay like $14-15 an hour just to be a host. The Capitol Grill pays like $15 or $16 an hour just to host. But you know, if you want to go on there, go to Glassdoor and then see what openings are there. So thank you guys for watching and see you in my next video.